I see the team with the right level of hunger, humbleness, and determination to go all the way. But then you have to show that game by game, and that's a really challenging thing to do in this league. The league is going to a different level. We have more teams right now. It's more difficult to win, and everybody's winning the games, but in a different way to last season, I think. At the moment, nobody can do again 100 points with how the table looks at the moment, and yeah, we all hope that they're going to lose points and that we can be still very, very consistent and win almost every game. We didn't win it because we didn't do enough points to win it, and we had a team that was able to win 14, 15, 16 games in a row, and you have to shake hands and learn from it. And I think we did a lot of very good things last season, and especially probably we needed that lesson and that experience to be able to see. First of all, we have the courage, the quality, and the capacity to do it again, or if it just was one-off. And we've done it again by playing Champions League on top of that after 7 years, so there's a lot of new things happening, and the team is coping with that. The game is not only what you see on the pitch, so the game starts to get prepared a few days earlier, or sometimes a few months earlier, and it's not only that, it's the connection that you have with the player that is going to play or is not going to start the game to affect the game after, the mood of the team, how the coaching staff is interacting, sending messages to them daily, the atmosphere of the stadium, key, what they read, how they are the player's mind before a game, how they start the game. It's a lot of things that influence. So we can control, or we can think that we can control probably more things that actually we do control. With everybody at the club, turn this club around because it was in a really difficult place, and I think we have managed to do that. And now we have turned it around. Now we have to lift it to the very top. So the first part, I think we've done it, and now it's keeping bringing it up and bring major trophies in.
If you want to kick off.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Since the winter break, your defensive numbers have been amazing, I think, not just the goals conceded, but the underlying stuff too. What, without revealing all your tactical secrets, what's changed and what's made that suddenly so tight?
Well, first of all, is the approach of the players is up to them. That 11 players are taking ownership and they are responsible for everything that happens on that field. And then their attitude, their love, and install that love for defending. You have to love it. If you don't love it, it's because the manager is shouting and pushing at you. And when you put something into their system and they enjoy doing that and they take pride of that and they celebrate that defensive action, and they do, an assist or a goal, you can take that to a different level. And I think that's spreading amongst the team, and that's contagious. Like the attacking part is contagious. I think that is contagious as well, and it's something that, in my opinion, is really important in the team.
And how much, we know how you want the whole team to press and to be aggressive. How much does it require all 11 players, like the way Martin presses, for example, high up front? How much does it need everyone to be doing it for it to work the way it has been?
Yeah, everybody has to be connected because every space, the timing of it as well, the approach, the distances that you have between players to reach certain intentions of the opponent and structures. It's a lot of things, but they know it now. I think it flows. They do it in a natural way, and it is efficient, and we have to continue to do that.
Thanks, Sam. Gary?
Can I ask you, Mikel, how many points do you think you'll need?
You always ask me this question. I never get it right. So you can.
This is the chance to get it right.
Yeah, I don't know. As you were saying now, the demands, I don't know. You might have to win every game. I don't know. I have no clue. There's a lot of games coming up. We're all going to have crazy schedules, and this league, it might be different to last season. And anything under 90 points, I think it will be very difficult.
Sort of recently you were talking about onions and peeling layers, and in the sort of when the form dipped. Where did that kind of? What was your conclusion once you peeled those layers away of the onion?
That we have to improve in every aspect. That's it. At the end, that's what all managers do. I think is try to be better in everything that we do, and and especially start winning as quick as possible, because that's the best thing to have to win again.
Because you're on about the set
Gary, we're
pieces.
going to have to rush
Yeah,
quickly
Porto
then.
sort of got Porto played on the referee in the game of the set pieces, would sort of fall into the ground and disrupting like you. Is that something you would be concerned that other teams on the Premier League teams could do it, but they would kind of exploit that in a way and stop that weapon, which has obviously been a good weapon for you?
Yeah, but there is obviously the opponents are going to put strategies in place to try to stop our threats, and I will have to come around and find the next one to keep finding those threats.
We'll have to rattle through the last three. Jordan, if you can, please.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Incredibly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Thomas Partey has played in midfield with Declan Rice this season. I think he played at right back against Forest, Partey, when he picked up his injury. How exciting is it to be able to unleash that combination of those two in midfield, because they're such physical presences and they're obviously very talented players, but to finally have them as a pair?
Yeah, I think they only play in the Community Shield together in midfield, but after that, no. So that tells you as well, how much we have missed Thomas the whole season. A player like him that hasn't really played much with us, and the impact that he can have for the next 3 months, I think it can be really big.
Thanks, Jordan. Ed.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
You mentioned some of the younger players have got this, their tummies are still empty, which is really interesting. Do you sense now this season, and especially at the moment, given the way the team's been playing the last few weeks, that they're really focused on the target, and that they're not going to kind of stop until you achieve what you want to?
Yeah, and the target is clear. Is be better every single day, and when it comes to the weekend, earn the right to win and do everything that you possibly can to earn the right to win the game. And this is the focus. And the way I see them train every day, it gives me more reasons to believe that that we will have a good chance, because they really want it.
Thanks, Ed. We'll just go to Neil and then Simon for the last one.
Could you just follow up on the question about Thomas and Declan in midfield?
Yeah.
What Thomas can do, even for Declan, the effect it can have on him. Do you think it can help him as well as the combination, the possible combination, and how they can help each other?
For sure, and I would have to see, that chemistry on the pitch and those qualities and the things that we have to tweak around them to make sure that they play in their strength and they make each other better. But I think that would be a very powerful midfield.
Thanks, Neil.
Mikel, just on Bukayo, he's got 7 goals in 5 games now. I know we've heard from him just before when he's talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and these sort of goal-scoring wingers. Do you think for him, he should be looking at those players who score sort of 25 goals and thinking it's realistic for him to think I can be that type of winger? Do you think that's in his capabilities?
Well, I hope he's doing that because he can become much better. I think he can get in better position still. His finishing, especially with certain surfaces, has to improve, and his timing as well. So he can do better.
And just on having these players back, obviously you're going to have so many options. As a coach, is it something you're now relishing, having these selection headaches, trying to think, how do I get Thomas in the team, how do I get Alex in the team? Is that what you're looking forward to in this run?
Yes, but having that option as well, and first of all putting always the intention to say, okay, what is the best way to hurt this opponent, and what is the best lineup to give us the best chance to win the game, and that has to start. And then, yeah, there's always the difficulty of putting one player on the bench or of starting another, but I think we're going to have a lot of time and minutes for a lot of players in the next 3 months.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Thomas had a session before the game, the last game, and now he's done 2-3 consecutive sessions, so he should be part of the squad on Monday.
And how about Alexander Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, or Yurian Timber? Could they be part of the squad?
Those ones is possible, but we have to wait and see, especially the last 2 sessions that we have on Saturday and Saturday and Sunday. And if that's the case, they might be available on Monday.
Gabriel Jesus returned to the squad for the game against Newcastle, but of course he didn't play. Is he ready to start a Premier League match?
Well, he's fit enough. How long he will last, that's something different probably. But we didn't want to take any risk after the results that we had against Newcastle. Obviously, we need him fit. He's a massive player for us, and I want to make sure that now we load the player in the right way.
In terms of your opponents on Monday night, Sheffield United, I was at the game against Wolves and they showed plenty of fight, particularly in attack. what challenges do you think they'll pose?
Yeah, really difficult team to beat, and you watch, and I watch 4 or 5 games now. With the City game, the way they started against Villa, and then obviously the game took a different route. But as you mentioned, they are extremely well coached. I know Chris really well, and I admire his teams and a lot of things that he does with them. It will be Monday night football, and it's going to be a tough night.
And finally from me, I mean, how difficult is it to play a team that's fighting against relegation, but particularly this stage of the season?
I imagine that it's really tough for them, and the ambitions are different, but both really, really important. And I imagine when you are there, you want to get out of there as quick as possible, and we have a lot to play for as well, and it's a big game for us.
Ian.
Hi Mikel, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Last few Premier League games you scored quite a few goals. Is that going to be important coming into the season? It's a three-way battle, and who knows regarding the amount of goals and goal difference you score?
Yes, for sure. It's an important element there. First of all, you have to earn the right to win the games, and then we want to be ruthless and efficient in front of goal, and I think lately we've been really good.
Because quite often you see a team that get 3 or 4-0 up in a game, and then they take their foot off the gas, save their energy for a future game.
Yes, you can do that. It's not been the case recently against Newcastle. The last 15-20 minutes, maybe we could have done a bit more, and we have to continue to do that, especially when you bring the subs in, because they can re-energize the team and still maintain a really high level, and it's something that we want to continue to do.
You play last this weekend. In terms of the schedule, is that a good thing to be playing after everyone else, you see what they've done, or would you rather go first to put pressure on them?
We've done 2-3 different scenarios. Is what we have right now. We know all the results, but it's irrelevant. What we want to do is go to Sheffield, perform the way we are performing, and win the match. And the rest we cannot control.
You said some nice things about Sheffield United, about being hard to beat, but they have conceded a lot of goals, especially recently at Bramall Lane. Is that something you'll be targeting?
Well, as with every team, we look at the weaknesses and the strengths and try to take the game where we want. But I'm saying this because I know that team really well. I analyzed it many years ago as well, and things that Chris did, and I learned from his teams. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a really tough match.
And the last one, March, important month. We all thought at the end of last weekend you all played the same number of games, but in March you've got to play City. City have got to play Liverpool as well. How big a month are we going into now?
Well, first of all, depending what happened for us on Monday and the rest of the results, and that would have an impact. So the only thing you can do is the next game and focus on that, and the rest will come.
Thanks, Ian. Mark.
Hi, Mikel. You
Hi.
mentioned there about the potential that Jurien might be in the squad on Monday. Is his recovery?
Sorry. It wasn't about Jurien. It was about the other two.
Oh.
Jurien is still not close enough to be part of the squad on Monday.
I know he's now back training, though, isn't he? And how surprised have you been just by the speed of his recovery? And does it tell you just his determination that how much he wants to play for your team?
Absolutely. It's been a joy. And all of the physios and the medical staff are really happy with his attitude and his commitment and especially the way things have gone. But it's not a coincidence the way he applies, how determined he is, his willingness to put every effort in everything that he's demanded to do, and he's in a really good place. Now we have to manage, because that's the last stage of that difficult injury that is complicated, but I think he's in the right way.
You lost him obviously on his Premier League debut. What have Arsenal missed not having him in the team this year?
Well, first of all, his leadership, his versatility, the quality that he has to play in different positions, especially in attacking phase, the spaces that he can occupy, and certain qualities that nobody else has in the squad to do that. And you could tell that he was fitting in. The more he fits him in, he's really liked around the boys, and it's been a big miss.
And then just finally, you play the team bottom of the table on Monday, having won 5-0, 6-0, 4-1. Is there any concerns of a potential overconfidence on the players, or do you not see that at all?
I hope not, and we were very clear straight after Newcastle the difficulty that we're going to have on Monday to beat Sheffield. So hopefully they are very, very aware from 3 days ago, and we have prepared a week, and we're going to continue to prepare, understanding that that's going to be the case.
Thanks, Mark. James.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Chelsea winning last night means you now don't play them
on March the 16th, so you're going to have quite a long gap. Is that a help or a hindrance at this stage of the season?
It is what it is. We knew that it was an option, and now we'll plan to use that time the best possible way, because that would mean that then we would have a more congested period in April.
I mean, obviously there's an international break, but would you look to potentially organise a friendly that weekend or try and get some competitive football of some description?
Players would have different demands, and the majority of them would have international matches as well, and international training sessions. So I don't think it's going to be a case of needing more minutes, and if there are 3-4 particular cases, I'm sure we can address that.
Sorry, just finally, it does mean you won't have a game for almost 3 weeks before you play Man City, which is obviously a massive game. Is that a help or a disadvantage going into a game of that magnitude?
The difference is 3-4 more days. You know, we're going to have 2.5 or 3 weeks. That's it. And I don't think that that's going to change the world.
Thanks, James. Charles?
Just on Gabriel Jesus, Mikel, he said back in August, just before the season, that he was going to have the operation to try and sort of resolve the issue that was sort of hanging around since the World Cup. Given what's happened since, and you're kind of still managing that injury, is it sort of safe to say that what you hoped happened with that operation, it hasn't quite gone to plan?
No, it didn't happen, and that was resolved. What happened is that he got a knock in another area that caused a different kind of injury afterwards. It wasn't related to the first one, and then he had a little niggle. It was a muscle issue that kept him for 10 days out.
Just to fact check to begin with, you were fairly confident that Brereton, Diaz and Baldock would be available this week. Have they had the training required?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've trained yesterday and today fully. So delighted that we've got both those experienced boys back with us and involved in the group.
And well, Baldock's been absent for such a long time. To have him back, I mean, he's a leader on the field, isn't he?
I think when you talk about Premier League experience that we've been lacking, and talking about the likes of John Egan Basham, Tom Davis not being involved, Ollie McBurney, you know, not as much as we would have liked to have him for selection, but certainly George, knowing what his characteristics or his personality is, I think we all know, having watched him and managed him for a number of years, we're absolutely delighted that he's back in the group, and it gives us a big boost.
He was a hell of a find, wasn't he? And what he's gone on to help achieve at this football club.
Yeah, he's been. You know, I think when you talk about sort of recruitment here at the football club and the real smart ones that we picked up in that sort of period, your Baldocks, your Jack O'Connells, you know, for what, 250 grand, I think, and the service that he's given to the football club, the achievements that he's been able to aid the football club in, and would you believe it, a Greek international as well. So I'm not so sure when he walked through the door from Milton Keynes that we would expect him in 6 or 7 years' time to be playing for the Greek national side.
Apologies if I've missed this. Has there been a sort of timescale on Cameron Archer's time on the sidelines? How is he?
No, not really. He's improving as he would do with treatment. But there's no timescale on him. I'm sure that he won't be available before the international break. I'll be delighted if he is. Obviously now with that changing and the Man United game being rescheduled, it does give us another week to get the likes of Cameron Wright, Anis Wright, and a couple of the others to help the squad and boost the squad even more going into the last 10 games of the season.